Paulo Costa and Marvin Vettori for UFC Fight Night on October 23rd, 2021. 5 straight rounds in the UFC middleweight division. Personally, I do think Paulo Costa needs to finish that fight in the first or second round. We know Paulo Costa has a lot of power in his hands, 100%. 13 wins and 1 loss, knocking out Uriah Hall, Johnny Hendricks, Olua Bangboze, Gareth McLennan. All these guys he's knocking out in the first or second round. 11 knockouts, 2 submissions, and 1 decision win over Yoel Romero. So he's going to need that knockout, especially against a guy like Marvin Vettori, who has, I don't know how he has that good of a chin, but he's never been finished, never been submitted, never been knocked out in his professional MMA career, which leads me to believe that the fight is probably going to go all the way to the full 5 rounds. And I do think if Paulo Costa is going to win the fight, it will be by knockout. But with the chin of Marvin Vettori, he just eats shots. I mean, he just has a really, really good chin, really good submission defense. I mean, is Paulo Costa going to submit Marvin? I really don't think so. Is he going to knock him out? It's possible, but with the chin of Marvin Vettori, I don't think we'll see a finish right there. But that would be the main way I do see Paulo Costa actually winning, would be by knockout right there. But overall, it's a really good fight. I mean, 5 straight rounds in the middleweight division. I do think it will go the full 5 rounds in this middleweight division. Paulo Costa, 0% takedown accuracy. I mean, it's expected. He's not really going to go out there try to take you down, but 80% takedown defense is really, really good. Only getting taken down twice by Oluwole Bangboze and then knocking him out, and then getting taken down 1 time by Yoel Romero, and then he ended up beating him as well. But Paulo Costa's takedown defense is pretty solid, but I don't really see him defending the takedowns in the later rounds. The 3rd, 4th, 5th round, I can't really see him defending the takedowns as he would in a 1st, 2nd, 3rd round of a regular fight that's not a main event. I just don't see Paulo Costa as a main event type of fighter if the fight goes all the way. I can definitely see him going out there knocking out Marvin Vettori. It's definitely possible, but if the most likely outcome does happen, that the fight goes to the 4th or 5th round, I don't see Paulo Costa being able to defend the takedowns from Marvin Vettori. And for those reasons, I'm probably going to be leaning towards Marvin. He has a 50% takedown accuracy, averages 2.2 takedowns every single fight, 11 takedowns on Kevin Holland, 4 takedowns on Israel Adesanya right there, 2 takedowns on Carl Robertson, 2 takedowns on Cesar Vieira, 2 takedowns on Izzy again. I mean, his wrestling is really, really solid, and his striking is also really, really solid as well. I assume in this fight, Vettori is going to keep range, have Paulo come to him, and he's going to go in and try to get that takedown, get the fight down, and wrestle and grapple Paulo Costa for that decision win. But I can also see Marvin Vettori going out there and him being on the front foot, moving forward, making Paulo Costa's back to the cage, throwing combinations, and then getting the fight to the clinch, and then going for the wrestling and the grappling, everything like that. But either way, I think eventually Marvin Vettori will be able to get the fight to the ground, use that wrestling, and use that grappling. Probably in the later rounds. The early rounds, the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd round, are going to be where Paulo Costa needs to go out all out pretty much. He needs to win the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd round, or finish the fight in the 1st or 2nd round if he's going to win, because in the 4th and 5th round, he's going to be a little bit tired from winging a lot of big shots and trying to knock out Marvin, and he's not going to be able to defend the takedowns as well as he did in the early rounds. So for those reasons, I think Marvin will win the 4th and 5th round. It all comes down, in my opinion, the 2nd and 3rd round. I think Paulo probably is going to win the 1st round, but the 2nd and 3rd round is going to be the deciding factor. If Paulo can win the 2nd round and he can win the 3rd round by defending those takedowns, Paulo can definitely win the fight. But I think with the relentlessness of Marvin Vettori, just going for takedown after takedown after takedown, eventually in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd round, eventually he's going to be able to get that fight down, tire Paulo Costa out by going for those takedowns, making Paulo wing on a bunch of big shots. And for those reasons, yet again, I'm going to go Marvin Vettori to win the fight. I'll give 2 rounds to Paulo Costa. I'll give him that. So a 48-47 decision win from Marvin Vettori. I can definitely see a possibility for Marvin Vettori getting a submission win on Paulo Costa. That's definitely a possibility. But overall, I'm going to go a 48-47 decision win from Marvin Vettori right there. If he wins the fight, will he get an immediate title shot right after that? If he beats Paulo, I really do not know. If we check the UFC rankings right now, would that warrant a title shot? I'm really not too sure. Because I believe Paulo Costa is number 2, Marvin is number 4, so if he beats Paulo, he's going to be number 2, and maybe they'll do the winner of Jared versus Kelvin Gastelum versus the winner of Paulo Costa versus Marvin Vettori. And then the winner of that fight then fights the winner of Robert Whittaker, Israel Adesanya. And if anything I said there does not really make too much sense, Paulo Costa versus Marvin. Winner of Paulo Costa Marvin fights the winner of Jared and Kelvin Gastelum. So then, just say for example, Marvin wins his fight and then Jared wins his fight. They fight each other, and then the winner of that one, say Jared beats Marvin Vettori, then he fights the winner of Robert Whittaker, Israel Adesanya. There's a lot of interesting things that can definitely happen in the middleweight division. I hope I didn't explain that too badly right there, but overall, I definitely think Marvin Vettori is probably 2 fights away from another title shot if he can beat Paulo and then beat Jared Cannonier. But overall, I do think he will beat Paulo Costa by a 48-47 decision. Should be a really, really good fight in the middleweight division right there.